week number 12 in the NFL, and you're watching Picks with David. Thanks so much for joining me again for another edition of my videos here on Facebook and YouTube. We've got 5 games to discuss today for the Thanksgiving weekend, so we'll begin with our first game. And that first game is the 6-4 Cincinnati Bengals at the 7-3 Tennessee Titans. A rematch of the AFC divisional playoff game last year when the Cincinnati Bengals went into Tennessee, who was the number 1 seed in the AFC, and managed to beat them on their way to the Super Bowl. Now, Tennessee seems to be a little bit of walking wounded. They have an excellent defense, but their quarterback has been injured. Their wide receivers have felt almost non-existent over the last several weeks. They managed to pick up a few wins here and there. For Cincinnati, their defense seems steady, but I don't think it's overpowering. They do manage to get a pass rush. They don't have Jamar Chase, and they're without Joe Mixon. So we'll see Samaje Perine today at the running back position for the Bengals. Now, Joe Burrow has managed to pick up a couple 100-yard games each of the last few weeks. They've leaned on the running game, however, so we'll have to see how Perine does. Mixon scored 5 touchdowns a few weeks ago, and, now Perine's in here, and he picked up a couple of touchdowns this last week as a replacement for Mixon. But I think that Tennessee has the stout run defense. I like Jeffrey Simmons up front as a pass rusher to get to Joe Burrow. This is going to be a tough-fought game, but I think that if Cincinnati wants to get in the position where they can stay close to Baltimore in the division, they have got to win this game. I want to pick Tennessee, but I think Cincinnati is going to win the game today. Game number 2 is the 4-7 New Orleans Saints at the 6-4 San Francisco 49ers. As you look at this game, they're continuing to start Andy Dalton at quarterback for the Saints. And I think that has been a positive effect here. I think that Jameis Winston would just turn the ball over too much. Probably a little rusty if he were to come back after being out for several weeks. Now, they've got themselves, some pretty good weapons, does New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. But the defense that has been so strong over the last couple of years has started to falter and let them down. Now, I like their offense. Time to time, Andy Dalton turns the ball over, and that's not going to bode well against the 49ers, who are starting to surge now. They made the addition of Christian McCaffrey. They're getting their players back healthy. San Francisco's going to start thumping on people. I like the 49ers to win the game today. Game number 3 is the 3-7 Los Angeles Rams at the 8-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Hard times have befallen the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. You got Matt Stafford out with neck and concussion issues. Cooper Kupp's probably out for the season with issues there. The offense was struggling before a couple of their top players was out. And so this really should be a mismatch. Kansas City is hitting on all cylinders right now, despite some of the injuries that they have. Mecole Hardman is out. Expect to see more of Sky Moore, who broke out last week against the Chargers. The Rams, with a third-string quarterback, probably going to rely on a lot of running game. Kansas City has swallowed that up at times this year. So look for Cam Akers of the Rams to possibly try to make some plays for them. But I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win at Arrowhead today. Sunday Night Football on NBC. The 4-7 Green Bay Packers go to the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Green Bay has struggled offensively this season. Their wide receivers are starting to come around a little bit. Christian Watson, the rookie, has made some big plays over the last few weeks. But they need to continue to run the football, keep the other team off the field, and control the time of possession. They come into town against the team with the best record in the NFL. Jalen Hurts continues to use his mobility to score touchdowns, to extend plays with his mobility and move around and extend plays so he can get the ball to his receivers down the field. Now, the team struggled last week, but managed to slip away with the victory. And one of the reasons that they did struggle is the loss of their number one tight end, Dallas Goedert. So look for that to be an issue here against the Packers. I think the Packers can come in here. I think they can run the football. The Eagles had to bolster their defensive line recently with a couple of free agent additions. Perhaps they're not familiar with the scheme yet, working as a team together in Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. But those two guys are going to be big up front with the injuries that they had previously. You know, being able to overcome those and stop the run here for the Green Bay Packers. I, as a Packers person here in this particular case, would think that they would want to run to the outside and not up the middle. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but can he get the ball and can he have time with this Eagles pass rush to get the ball down the field to his receivers? It's just a question of whether he could do that or not. I think that the Eagles are the better team here, but I think that the Packers are going to give them a game. I'll take the Eagles to win the game on Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football features two teams trying to stay in the playoff hunt. The 3-7 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 4-6 Indianapolis Colts. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it looks like this could be his first year that happens. And that could be because they have a struggling defense. T.J. Watt has returned, but they're still missing a few other pieces. The offense is in disarray at times. They've got the new starting quarterback in Kenny Pickett, and he's learning on the fly. The running game has not been as helpful as they would like it to be, as the offensive line is still learning to work together and gel. Najee Harris has made some big plays from time to time here. As far as the other big playmakers on the team, Pickett to Pickens is going to be a thing for the long haul. But the question in this game is, what are they going to do against that Indianapolis Colts running game? Now, the offense has not been real good up front for the Colts this season. But when they do get it in gear, Jonathan Taylor gets over 100 yards and scores a touchdown. And that's a lot of the keys to winning for the Colts in this game. Matt Ryan, of course, back at quarterback since interim head coach Jeff Saturday took over the team. He makes plays to his receivers. They run the football. The Colts seem to be doing well on offense since all these things have started to come back together, Taylor being healthy and such. And so, for me, I look at this game, I think this is going to be a great game. I like both teams. I wish both teams could make the playoffs, but I think this game right here is going to be like the final call for who's going to make it in. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to actually win this game on Monday Night Football. Another week in the books here for Picks with David. Thanks again for joining me for another edition right here on YouTube and Facebook. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you Thursday for another edition of the Thursday Night Football Pick right here on Picks with David.